Welcome back, Spuds, to another episode of Astroneer, and I know this is a bit of a shorter episode than it usually is. I honestly had poor planning for how I actually wanted this to work, so it's a little shorter than usual. What I work on today is actually making an efficient fuel farm, as well as our next major machine for exploration. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Astroneer. Okay, and now we have tungsten, which will actually unlock us a new recipe called the chemistry lab. This is a crafting module that will turn two components into a new component, but you can see it draws a ton of power. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and lock this, but first we're going to go to, here we go, medium generator. Aluminum and tungsten produces 9 units of power. This is a ton of power, but it costs you 2 grand for bytes. So it's a little expensive, but it's definitely worth it. So 1 tungsten, 1 aluminum. We're gonna go ahead and make ourselves the medium generator. Now I will need to borrow this for a second because I need to burn some organic. If you burn organic, this will turn it into carbon, which is going to be used as the power source for the generator. And it lasts for a dang long time. Okay, we have the oxygenator back in our system. We are good to go. Okay, and it is done right now. Okay, so we can go ahead and grab ourselves the generator. Go ahead and unpack it. And then once you put this carbon in here, go ahead and turn it the right way. Hold on, what do you think you're doing? It's now working and it produces a ton of power. So if I were to put back, let's say these, it's working at full efficiency the entire time because this is creating more power than this is actually using. This can also power an additional 2 research chambers. So if you want a lot of bytes, also a way to do that. So what we're gonna do is have this finished up here. I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a new platform because I want to automate this. And by doing so, I'm going to need an auto arm. So I need to also find some graphite, which can be tricky. Or you can just use the centrifuge here. Both work just fine. And the good thing is, the generator actually uses the carbon a lot slower than it is to make a new organic. So we're going to use that to our advantage. So in the centrifuge, you can also use it to make graphite. Now it's not a whole lot, but I only need 1 for right now. Graphite is actually easy to find if you know where to look for it. Typically if you're around like caves, not caves. Graphite's kind of hard to figure out where to find because it can be popping up in like weird places, but typically like mountains is a great place to look for them, as well as caverns. On Silva, you'll see a great terrain. I don't think I've seen that yet, or if I can, it's not too far from me. But you can find graphite around there. It's not too bad to find at all. But keep in mind that you can also just use this to find what you need, and you don't really need a whole lot of graphite. Usually it's used for graphene, which is used for way down the road. Which, by the way, if you're using it down the road, graphite isn't too bad to find. Generally, you can actually use 1 canister or sword to make 1. That's certainly enough what you need because you can only need these for 2 things. And I already have a lot of what that item is. So the packager is crafted using 1 graphite. I already have plenty of that. It's also used to craft graphene, which is a hardcore material in the future. But by that point, you should already have a way to automate finding graphite or making graphite. So I would just use this for your time being. It actually works out really well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab ourselves the aluminum here. And we're going to make ourselves the auto arm, which is a little closer to here. Yep, here we go. We're going to also be moving this operation over here. So we're going to be doing this. And we're going to get these 2 changed out here. Because this is our new source now of power. Okay, so that is now completed. Excellent. So we'll go ahead and grab this. And how this works is you're going to see a machine pop up. So you see how the red nozzle is on the right side. We're going to go ahead and turn this. If the auto arm here detects that this is a pick-upable object, then it'll pick it up and place it in the blue spot, which the blue spot here, because this cannot take organic, it'll go into the furnace here, and then once it's done, it'll go into the power. This here is all automated. Because this is faster than this, you're never gonna run out of power as long as this thing is working. What was it? The chemistry lab, yes. I need ceramic, glass, and tungsten. Thankfully, I actually just made some ceramic earlier to make the oxygenator. Do I have any glass or any quartz? No, but it's easy to find. So, down the cave we go. Whee! This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. This is actually why it's good to use the centrifuge for small gains. Because you don't want to be going into the caves for things you may or may not find. I'm getting a lot of laterite and a lot of spherulite, but not a lot of quartz. Oh, there's some back there. That was like 2 minutes of searching. That could have been spent on other projects like making a bigger base. But this thing is so fast now, it mines in a much bigger radius. And that's it. It's done. That's ridiculously fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down our furnace again wherever I may have put it. Whoa, right over here. Duh. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get a brand new one, actually. This is actually a massive place here to get resources. Super cool, actually. Now with the glass, ceramic, and tungsten, we can go ahead and craft ourselves the chemistry lab, which is going to be the second to last advanced machine. This is going to be the atmospheric condenser, which is a whole new, I guess you can say, concept to the game, because you see we have all kinds of resources, and these are all probably called nuggets. You'll learn that later on. But not only are there solids we can get gases like hydrogen, helium. But for this, we will need another platform, so let's go ahead and do that. I was gonna say we can do the medium shuttle here, but if we play our cards right, we can actually go straight into this. But this will be actually super interesting for us because we need to figure out how to get titanium alloy and exochips. Now, I'm okay with our puny spaceship here because that means that we're saving ourselves 4,000 bytes. But that way we don't have to worry about using too much stuff. So what I'm going to do is go in my Range Rover here that I got as a reward for, I believe, filling a canister with soil. I'm going to explore a little bit and look for some wreckages, because there are some wrecks that can have exochips or dynamite already inside of it, which is what you need to get exochips. So I'm going to go over here and explore, and if I see anything that is cool or interesting, I'll go ahead and bring you guys back in. Oh, crud, look at that. Interesting. Actually, you know what, while we're here, because I see what I like back there, we're going to grab one of these, and we're going to grab, there it is. Okay, packager, thank you. So this is actually a rare structure you can find. You can find at least, I think, 1 or 2 of these per planet. Sorry, not per planet. These are a pretty rare resource. These are a pretty rare structure, and we're going to want to grab what we can from here because this can actually be super helpful. One, you can get resources here that you would normally have a hard time finding, like malachite, aka copper. Super helpful. We also have some fuel sources here. What else we got? We got a power cell, not the greatest thing I've seen. Batteries, okay. That's it for that. But there's what I wanted to do, was these 2 things. Right here is also an automatic work light. Super helpful. Really good for you, actually. We can go ahead and grab this. We're going to package this down because we can bring this in our backpack. Now, there's a lot of blue forest here, so I'm really hoping I can get lucky and find a space crash shuttle. And unfortunately, while going through all this forest, I couldn't find any spaceships or anything. But what I did find was a destroyed work area, so like a platform, and it had dynamite on it, and I found an exochip geocache and I forgot to record it. So the rest of the adventure was just me going back home. I looked for about 15 minutes. I said, screw it, and I went home. Uh, but then I ended up finding the box and dynamite, so I did blow it up. But whenever it's time to actually start using exochips, I'm going to be getting sulfur from my atmospheric condenser, which will be coming out next episode. So keep that in mind. But until then, I will see you guys in the next episode here in Astroneer.